Greetings, Commanders, and welcome back to the Deep Space Carrier series here in Elite Dangerous. We are continuing our journey around the four corners of the galaxy in our fleet carrier. And I forgot to mention it last time, but let's go ahead and take a look at where we are right now. We finished up in Oob, and we're on our way to the Alluring Siren en route to, hopefully somewhere over in this really western side of the galaxy over here. And as I said yesterday, I ended up spending several hours on my Sunday flying all the way back to the bubble to go back and pick up some things that we were kind of missing on the trip. And let me finish this jump here. We'll continue talking about that here in a second. I don't want to run into the star, so we're going to go ahead and play it safe. Of course, I'm trying to play it safe, and the loading screen is taking forever now. So yeah, there we go. As always, we're going to boost into the star to speed up the process of fuel scooping and getting through all of this stuff. And then, since there's 16 bodies here, that is below my 20 body limit for scanning a system. Let's just finish up talking about this here. It was really good for me to go ahead and just do it here because there's kind of a straight line between here where we were in the southern meridian over to like kind of the westernmost portion of the galaxy there. And right here is kind of like the shortest distance back to the bubble. Once we start getting like out here and then going around this way, it would have taken a really, really long time to do that. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. For those of you who are new to the series, we are taking a fleet carrier around. The fleet carrier is a few jumps behind us at the moment. I'm having to leave it behind for now because that transfer was going to take, I don't know, 40 some odd hours to get done. And by the time we did our episode yesterday, it was down to about 24, which, it was about the time that I typically start recording. But unfortunately, that means I also have to wait for 3 more jumps to have it catch up with me, which would have been another 45 minutes to an hour at least. Well, no, probably an hour and a half because of the cooldown times and things like that. It's just, it would have put my starting to record my episode way later in the day than I wanted to. So, yeah, we're just going to do another we're going to do another 3 carrier jumps worth of travel along the route. And then I will spend the rest of today, because it's not like I have to sit and watch my carrier do it. I'll just keep logging back in and catching the carrier up to our position today. And tomorrow we should be able to showcase the stuff I went back for. Only 2 bodies in this system, so we're going to go ahead and continue on. We have 19 jumps to get to where our carrier ultimately will end up, ideally, for tomorrow's episode. So we're going to continue on and see if we can find any cool exobiology and anything else that might show up in the system. 19 bodies here. Gotta make sure we don't run into the star. Whoa! I really hate it when the line disappears. That's super frustrating. I really, really don't like that. It's like, it's a little bit heart-stopping when that happens, because it's like, oh, I don't want to have to sit here and stop for like a full minute or however long it is for the frame shift drive cooldown to finish when you run into the star. Damage isn't so much of an issue since we have the fleet carrier and we can go back and repair. It's not like we're, tens of thousands of light years away from the nearest station or anything like you would be in a normal exploration situation. But yeah, for this, yeah. It's just the time component that's really annoying when you run into the star when you have a fleet carrier with you. It's really nice. I feel like, I feel like my voice is a little bit different today because I just woke up. I'm not quite as energetic as I would be later in the day. So it just feels like my voice is a little bit different. I don't know. It feels different to me. I'm pretty sure it won't sound that different in the recording. I don't know. I'm just, I'm not I get pretty, I'm an impatient kind of person, so, I'm a little bit less impatient first thing in the morning because I just woke up. But I like to move. Get stuff done. Let's go. And my voice kind of rises to accommodate that. Whatever. Every once in a while you got an episode like this where I'm a little bit more chill, just because it's first thing in the morning. It is what it is. 8 bodies in this system. We'll definitely be scanning this one. Let's find out if there's anything interesting here. You know, as I always say during these episodes, especially when we have somewhere to be and a certain amount of time to get there, I'm not necessarily going to be horribly disappointed if we don't find anything specifically. You know, I imagine for most people who are going to sit down and watch an exploration series, you're probably more interested in the, you know, is he going to find anything? Part of it, the suspense aspect of it, I guess. Hey, are we going to find anything? And then the other side of it is just, you know, I would imagine that most people are like me. You watch people because you like the person playing the game and not necessarily the game itself. I mean, you like the game. The game catches your attention, but I mean, there's all kinds of people who play this game who are making videos, and you could be watching them. You choose to watch you choose to watch somebody based off of the way they present the game, the way they talk about it, the way they talk about things, the way they, you know, the way they are on camera. If they can make you feel as if you're as if you're hanging out in the room with them. I know that's when I'm watching a video. That's how I feel like. If I'm sitting next to the computer with them as they're playing the game, just like hanging out. Those are the creators I generally tend to like the best. The flashy, you know, super crazy excited people who, you know, are just trying to get attention. I don't really pay much attention to those guys. They just don't catch me. They just don't hold my attention for very long. All right, so it's all high metal content planets here, but I'm getting the feeling that we're not going to find any biology. No, we're not going to find any biology here. I don't know. You just, after thousands and thousands of system scans, you start to get a feel for when you think things are going to be happening. You get surprised every once in a while, but I don't know. After 2 or 3 planets, I start to get a feeling of like, oh, I think I'm going to find something here, or no, I don't think we're going to find anything. 16 bodies in this one, so let's finish up our fuel scoop, get down below the plane as always. I'm going to go ahead and do my daily complaint about the full spectrum system scanner. I really do not like this particular system, and I wish they would go back, from what I hear, I wish they would go back to the way that it was before, where the discovery scanner gave you a list of everything in the system. And I wish that the full spectrum system scanner and surface scanners were simply for locating, specifically locating those things. Not discovering them, but locating them. I know I say rant. This is just one long continuing rant over every episode that I do. I have other episodes where I talk about it extensively, and yeah, I'm sure people are getting tired of it, but that's how much I hate the full spectrum system scanner. Sorry. All right, 1 biology there. Once you start catching 1 biology, your hope increases. But these are all icy bodies. But if you have 1 biology, they do kind of the panspermia approach to biology in this game. So if you find biology on 1 body, the chances of finding biology on any other bodies in the system is much increased. So we have at least 1 high metal content world here. Well, we have 1 high metal content world here. Unfortunately, no biology there. And all right, so there's 1 biological signature completely. I don't even want them to like give me, like, they don't even need to give me the number of signatures, like how many different, like, I don't need a quantity. Just tell me there's stratum in the system, there's fonticula in the system, there's recepta in the system. Like, I would totally stop and do a complete extensive search of the entire system for recepta, like stratotectonicus, those things. Like, I would absolutely stop for that. Just using the discovery scanner as kind of like a filter for every system that you go into to decide, am I going to spend time here, or are we just moving on? That would be the best way to do it. Because if my full spectrum system scanner can detect that there's biology in a planet, I don't see any reason why it can't, why the discovery scanner can't because here, the way that all that works is that light gives off, or bodies give off certain spectrums of light based off of what's being emitted from the planet or what's being reflected from the planet. So scientists can look at a planet and analyze the waveform of the light hitting it, and they can tell if it has oxygen in the atmosphere, or if it has, you know, Tell if it can tell what elements are in the atmosphere, and I would imagine based off of, you know, conversations and stuff, or conversions. Conversations. I would imagine based off of certain chemical compositions in an atmosphere. That's how the full spectrum system scanner is supposedly able to tell whether there's biology on the planet, right? Because it's analyzing the spectrum of the light bouncing off of that planet. It's able to analyze the composition of the atmosphere, and life would have certain chemicals in the atmosphere that non-life bearing planets would not have. So it's able to say, oh, there's biology here. Even if the discovery scanner would be much more useful, even if all it said was, hey, there's biology in this system. There's heavy geological activity in this system. Just something to give you at least a little bit more so that you can, you know, bypass systems that don't have anything that you're looking for. Because scanning a 30, 40 body system only to find out, no, there's just nothing here. That's really soul crushing, you know, like heartbreaking, soul crushing, whatever word you want to use for it. But it's super frustrating. So, you know, just even if all it did was it gave you, hey, there's biology here. You might want to scan this one. That would be really nice. We got a water world here. Definitely make sure we go and scan that. Oh, I keep forgetting to go and hit the universal cartographics so that we can sell off our exploration data. I have 420 jumps plus whatever we've done in the last couple of days worth of cartographic data I need to sell. Even if it is mostly just pings. Okay, we have another 6 bodies to do. Let's try to hurry up and get this done. Won't necessarily finish our trip today if we continue to have to scan things, which, you know, it's not a bad problem to have. I'm not saying that, you know, it's a bad thing. It's just going to make it to where we're not going to finish our trip today. Oh, 2 biology on an icy body is going to be bacteria and fonticula. I don't care about that enough to stop, so we're just going to move on. Off we go. We have another 13 jumps to accomplish. Whoa, 48 bodies in this one. We are definitely not going to be scanning the entire system, but with 48 bodies, there's a decent chance we might... Oh, we never went and scanned the water world. There's a decent chance that there might be some interesting things here. Honestly, though... And we're just going to move on.
Frameshift drive charging.
When I'm in sort of a hurry like this, a water world, if you scan it, is only going to be worth a couple million, maybe. Even with bonuses and stuff like that, it's only going to be worth a couple million. So, given the fact that we're running around with, you know, a couple billion in the bank account right now, I'm not that worried about it. We can always the stratum tectonicus is worth first footfall stratum tectonicus is worth like 90 water worlds. So let's say 80. Even if it's just 70, that's still like, you know, for the money part of it, the water world's not interesting to look at, so wasting our time going to look at it is just kind of Continue on with our trip. 11 jumps to go. 22 bodies here. We're just going to go ahead and skip this one because it's past my limit of 20 bodies. I know that seems kind of arbitrary, but you know, when you have we have so many more systems ahead of us, when you have so many things to go through, you kind of have to filter things out, and you kind of have to set a limit and kind of stick to that limit. Otherwise, you end up wasting more and more and more time. Then your limit goes up to 25, and then to 30, and then you end up spending all of your time scanning systems, spending lots of time in single systems that end up having nothing. So, you know, it's a system will either have biology or it will not. The number of bodies in that system, I'm pretty sure, has absolutely no bearing on the chances of biology showing up there. It's the system itself that either has biology or it doesn't, and then if it has biology, it goes through and deposits it wherever it makes sense to deposit it. So, you know, it's like the whole mining thing, right? You're going to spend X number of seconds laser mining an asteroid, right? It takes the same amount of time regardless of how much tritium or whatever it is that you're trying to get out of it. So, you know, you have to kind of set a number. You have to kind of set a number that you say, you know what, this is worth my time to do this task, and anything past that I need to move on, and that needs to be a hard limit. So like when I'm doing tritium mining, I want to have at least 15. I want to have it, well, I don't know. It changes depending on my mood. Sometimes I'll say 10%. Other times I'll say 15% tritium in the asteroid before I'm going to stop and mine it. Because it's going to take me, I don't know, 30 seconds or whatever it is to mine the asteroid. And the higher the content of tritium in that asteroid, the more I'm going to get out of that 30 seconds. Well, exploration works the same way, you know. It's going to take you, or you have the same chance in every system of getting biology of any kind, right? If you have the same chance of getting biology of any kind, then, you know, scanning a system that takes, scanning a system of 10 bodies versus scanning a system of 40 bodies, well, you do the math. What's the difference in the time that you put in there? You're not getting any increased chance of there actually being anything there. You're just spending more time getting the scans done. So, you know, it is what it is. Some systems just can't have life in them, and if you don't know you're in that system, then you don't know that you're wasting your time. Other systems have a higher chance, but again, if you don't know you're in that system, then, you know, it is what it is. So, you have to approach it from the standpoint of, you don't know if there's, you have to approach it from a standpoint of, you know, I have a 50-50 shot. It either does or it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if it does, and I don't know if it doesn't. So you can only base your filter off of how many bodies do I have to scan. You set yourself a limit. If it goes over that limit, you're like, moving on. If it's under the limit, then you stop and scan. If it's under the limit, then you kind of make a judgment call. Do I feel like scanning 17 bodies right this minute? And then if it's well under your limit, you're like, oh, this is nice. I'll just stop here and scan 12 bodies. That's fine. That's the way judgment calls go. I know some of you are like super completionists, and you really want to go, every system you go into, you want to scan every nook and cranny of every little part of everything, and, you know, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just not that way. I can't. I'm an efficiency kind of person. I want efficiency. It bugs the hell out of me that the gameplay in this game is intentionally made inefficient for the purposes of making things take longer, and only for making things take longer. There's no good reason for it. There's no logical scientific reason for why I have to sit here and high metal content well. With 2 biology, it means there's probably going to be stratum tectonicus there. There's no scientific reason for why I have to sit here and manually scan these like this. There's no good logical reason for it other than we just decided that's how it's going to be because we want you to take a long time scanning bodies. We want you to put time and effort into this. And it's like, okay, well, there's other ways you can get me to put time and effort into it that doesn't make me feel like you're artificially making things take longer. Like, there's other ways to do things like that. You don't have to like intentionally make things inefficient and annoying. There's plenty of ways to make things take longer that would be more realistic and less. So yeah, we're at the 20-minute mark here. We still have there's still another 6 jumps to get done. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah. Regardless, what we'll do is we'll go down, we'll scan the stratum tectonicus here, and then by then we're probably going to be at the end of the episode. So I will get the carrier up to our destination offline, and I will finish the last 6. Oops, I screwed that up. I will finish the last 6 jumps. Oh, we have the star in the way. I will finish the last 6 jumps offline, and then ideally tomorrow we'll have the carrier repositioned in the appropriate position, and I'll be able to showcase what I went back to the bubble for, and we can start off on continuing our journey all the way around the galaxy. This particular planet wants 6 probes to complete our scanning there, so we'll put 1 behind, on the top, on the left, and the right. Bottom when the probes come back, and then 1 right here in front of us, and that should give us complete coverage. I was gonna say complete completion. That should give us complete coverage of the planet. We can get our filter set to the stratum, head down there, confirm that it is stratum tectonicus, and then yeah, do some biological scanning, collect our 90 million credits worth of data, and then call it a day, I think.
Orbital flight.
Alright, we're gonna get our glide happening now. The stratum's all over the planet, so it doesn't really matter where we land. I'm mostly just trying to efficiently get down to the planet. I mean, if I was being super efficient, I'd be right there at the red line trying to, like, hurry up and get out of the glide here, but I also kind of want to make sure we're in the middle of the blue and not near a section where there might not be any, so kind of misjudged the approach a tiny little bit, but that's okay. We're gonna make this happen. Get down to 0 throttle so we can be on thrusters, get down to the surface, and try to quickly find our stratum tectonicus. I say stratum tectonicus because if you've watched my previous episodes, I've told you multiple times, on a high metal content world with 2 biological sources, in my experience, 100% of the time, it is stratum tectonicus and some kind of bacteria. That's been my experience. I don't think I've ever gone to a high metal content world in the hundreds and hundreds of times that I've gone to these high metal content worlds with 2 biologies. I guess I can't say hundreds and hundreds because I'd have a lot more money then. But you know what I'm saying. The myriad times that I've gone to these, that is stratum tectonicus. The myriad times that I've gone to high metal content worlds and with 2 biological signatures, it's always bacteria and stratum tectonicus. And stratum tectonicus with the first footfall, you saw that pop up as we were getting off the ship. It's 90-minute credits, so we just made a lot of money. Well, after we get our next 2 scans, we will have made a lot of money. And assuming we don't somehow destroy our ship between now and the time that our carrier comes out to meet us. But still, point is, we just made a lot of money. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and call that a day. Hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. You can also join as a member for early access to videos, among other perks. Or you can just leave YouTube's version of a tip with the thanks button. I also have PayPal and Patreon links in the description if you prefer to go that route, because some people do like to go outside of the YouTube economy to help out with channels. So those links are there for your convenience. So again, thank you very much for your time. I will finish grabbing this last biological signature. I'm sorry, I'm losing my focus here. I will grab this last biological signature right now, and be sure to come back for tomorrow's episode, where we will ideally be showcasing all of the cool, I don't say all of the cool stuff, but some of the cool stuff I brought back from the bubble. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you for the next one.